retail media has seen explosive growth over the last few years, and I think it's driven by a lot of what we were just talking about, data, the availability of data. The challenge of marketers really being understanding where and how many of their products are selling. So for many advertisers that are more endemic selling in retail, it's been a great opportunity for them to target the right people, and then also understand things like performance. The other opportunity is you're able to kind of now take the data and then start to deliver ads in different places, and that's really where a lot of evolution is happening.
Right.
I would say the two key areas are across more channels, and then also bringing sort of those non-endemic advertisers into leveraging retail media networks and data. So
that could be somebody, let's say, like a car maker, which at
they're
this
not going to
stage,
sell a car
I
at
haven't
Walmart.
bought a car yet on Amazon, although I
Yeah.
understand that's coming.
Right.
But yeah, automotive, I don't know, pharmaceuticals,
Correct.
just other things that you wouldn't necessarly get in a
exactly.
grocery store. Right?
Yeah, but based upon the products you're purchasing, and Amazon's a great example where you might have you have a car now, and you've bought different products on Amazon, so they could understand a little bit more about your lifestyle. Maybe you're into off-roading or fixing your own car. So those are some great signals that we can get as marketers.
And retailers, traditionally aren't media owners or media providers, and I'm just kind of curious how you see it evolving in terms of their sophistication and kind of understanding your needs, your clients' needs, because there's other more sophisticated, more developed channels out there. And how is retail media coming along in that respect?
Yeah, I think from a size standpoint, depending on which report you're looking at, over the next couple of years, retail media is going to be pretty much one of the top channels.
Right.
But to your point, it kind of varies widely, and I think what's been interesting is a lot of as the retail networks have built up, they've brought in people from across the media ecosystem, the advertising sales standpoint. I think that what we're seeing is this evolution to where there's a little bit more of a scaling from a product standpoint, from a capability standpoint. But the biggest challenge that we're really faced with, and it's what we're working with at Kinesso, is really around unifying data so that we can understand performance across networks.
Right.
And that's really the big thing. But it is definitely a challenge because there's varying levels of sophistication. And then I think there's a little bit of everybody wants to have a retail media network. And what we're trying to do is work with some of those partners to say, hey, love the fact that you have this data, but maybe we should be transacting it in a different way than going into your own platform or something like that.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned the offsite advertising. And for people who may not be familiar with this, it's not just Amazon selling an ad on Amazon,
Correct.
but it's like using their customer data to place ads elsewhere around the internet.
Yeah.
And that's an important avenue.
It's a big important thing. Yeah, because if you think about it, I think what we're seeing some trends there is sort of that omni-channel experience. So think about physical retail, online retail, mobile retail, and then, like you said, when the customer is not in the retail store, but we understand that they might go there. Take a big retailer, they're going there regularly, they're a regular customer, or maybe lapsed. So we do want to have that ability to target them in digital out of home or CTV or other areas.
Okay. So shifting gears a little bit here, I just wanted to ask you a bit about what's happening in premium addressable advertising and maybe the way you're leveraging data and just other things that are happening.
Yeah. I think what's really great in the video space right now is that it's still one of those like growing media formats, right? If you think about consumption behavior, audio, video separately, but also together are still drivers, and whether that's people watching social video or video on YouTube, but also what's happening from a streaming standpoint. And so what we're seeing is trends with people subscribing to different streaming applications, and that creates opportunities not only for advertisers to kind of reach known audiences, but it gives us the ability to kind of connect first-party data with those platforms and companies and make sure that we're, delivering the right experience from an advertising standpoint to the right person. And what's great about streaming and premium video in that regard is that those are things that we could do that don't involve things like cookies, right? So in sort of the more traditional video, online video or display advertising areas, like that's becoming more difficult to do because of not only cookie deprecation, but just things like how is data collected. Whereas when you're working with a streaming partner, they have subscription data, and we're able to bring first-party data into those environments. It's not the only thing we're buying, but it helps sort of create a foundation for our strategy.
Well, yeah, and we talked a bit about Amazon just a little bit,
Yeah.
but now they brought on their Amazon Prime Video inventory, entered the market. I can't remember the exact number of households. I think it's 80 something million, let's say.
Yeah.
Maybe you would know.
Yeah.
But yeah, and they're getting into live sports and
Yeah.
all this other stuff. So, like, what else do you see happening in terms of the content and maybe some of the signals that you're getting back from these platforms?
Yeah, I mean, Amazon's a great example. I mean, they truly are this unique ecosystem in terms of the consumer experience. And so they have that opportunity to really have this like flywheel of a relationship, and not only is not a good thing for them in terms of that experience, but it really helps marketers as well. That could be everything from someone who's selling on the Amazon marketplace to an advertiser that's looking to show up in Thursday night football, and maybe they might not sell something on Amazon, but you could still use similar creative formats and technology to create more engaging experiences. And so that's a trend that we're starting to see across other streaming platforms, but certainly Amazon has a very unique opportunity with the way they're approaching it.
Okay, well, hey, looking ahead, the next 6 months to a year, is there anything that's really top of mind for you? Anything you're excited about? Anything that may keep you up at night? What's the outlook?
Yeah. I mean, I was just saying actually recently how this period of time is probably the most exciting period in our industry. When I think about it, it's probably the closest example would have been when mobile really started to take off. A little over 10 years ago, right? And so we're seeing that same kind of enthusiasm, excitement, and especially with what's happening in sort of the streaming space as well as retail media.